It's April 24th, Friday, and we're up here at the Westlake Twin Theater on the rooftop, and we're up here right now. We have two units down. Actually, excuse me, 3 units down up here in the theater. We must have had some kind of a power outage or a surge for what I'm looking at right now. Like I said, we just got up here diagnosing everything. Here we go. We got a toasted control board because the blower motor went out. And this one right here, blower motor's out on this one. It's all iced up because the compressor's running and running and running, and of course there's no heat load on the coil. We're just getting started checking this out. I've got to see if it's the board or the motor or what. This one right here is the motor and the board. And the only real way to really prevent something like this is by running an electrical surge box where it'll cut the equipment out. If you get any kind of a voltage surge or a power outage, it'll shut the equipment down. You got to pretty much set everything up. You can set it up on the unit individually, or you can set it up on the main breaker panel where it'll shut the equipment down and time out until the voltage is stabilized for a certain amount of time. Then it'll go ahead and then reset the equipment to start to run. Anyhow, we've had a lot of problems here, especially in the last few years. And when we were up here doing the roof, when we were working with Richard, we made suggestions as far as, basically everything needed to be replaced, but, of course, that wasn't within the budget, and I understand that. But this, this equipment is, the manufacture date on the equipment is 96, so I'm just kind of guesstimating it was installed back in 96. Usually commercial equipment, if you can get good 10 years out of it, you're doing pretty good. And this stuff really wasn't maintained very well. Before I got here, I figure the last, did the roof, 93? Got here. Oh, I don't know if you can see that or not, but we've got a date of manufacture, January of 96. They're all like that, so they're all done at the same time. And this one here, this is for the lobby. This one is 1991. Let's see here. Looks like a newer style than that. Anyhow, this one's for the lobby. The 4 or 5 ton gas packs. They're all 3-phase. Those are for the 2 theaters. And we have this unit right here. This is for the projection room. This one's been very problematic. One of the main things is that, of course, these things run, every day, and sometimes all night if they don't shut them off. So it's got a manual. They've been just shutting them off by the breakers. But I got 3 that are problematic with the coils, refrigerant leaks, and I've ran sealant. I braze up whatever leaks I can access and find, but most of them are occurring within the coils. I replaced one coil for Theater 2 in this middle unit, and the one in the back, that one's been leaking. It hasn't been so bad, but it does leak, but it's a little bit low right now. I got to go ahead and recharge that and run some more sealant up in through there. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And anyhow, the external ducting is not too bad. When we pulled all this equipment up off the roof, when we were working on the roof, the external ducting, I re-insulated the insides of the boxes, so they're not too bad. but we need to really consider on replacing at least this one for the lobby. I would really recommend replacing the one for the projection room, and at least this one out in the far side, this unit here on the very end for Theater 1, that one's got a lot of leaks, and that compressor's questionable, but it works. And this one right here too, this one's got a lot of, I believe this one has a cracked heat exchanger up on the heater, and it has refrigerant leaks as well. So really when we run the heat, we really run off this one over here on the end, which doesn't do too bad, but if it's really, really cold out, then there's a little bit of a problem just preheating the theater. This one right here is, again, we'd replace that one as well. So I really recommend replacing 4 of them, or I could recondition them. But the main concern and what's really labor intensive is the inside ducting. It really needs to all be changed out and reconfigured as far as for noise, and it's kind of choked off because really this ducting is a little bit undersized for these 5-ton units. Okay, and with the insulation up inside of this ductwork, it's, you know, the inside diameter is quite a bit, right up around this choke point on this throat. That's the supply air on the bottom. And so what happens is I really can't put a full refrigerant charge in here because there's so much back pressure on the air that if I accepted a full charge in the unit, it actually runs the coil extra cold, then it starts icing up. And of course, when it starts icing up, we get the ice expands, and it expands the coil tubing in the coils, and then it stretches and it causes minute refrigerant leaks, which has been a problem with a lot of this equipment up here. Anyhow, we got another problem with the UPS store, the package unit up there. That one's got a cracked heat exchanger as well, and now we have that has a burned out blower motor, and that one, periodically it leaks refrigerant. I gotta juice that one up quite a bit, but it's always something goofy with that thing, whether it's the control board. We did the compressor about 3 years ago on that one, but it's always something. And so really those units right there, I would really recommend redoing all the ducting and replacing the equipment. And for right now, and of course the Chinese restaurant, that's a whole other nightmare. You got the 2 split systems where you got the air handlers up in the attic, and those things either leak and they get plugged up on the coils quite a bit, and those things run constantly, of course, and they got one hell of a heat load. And of course, we got with this vent hood here, this thing sucks a lot of the air out of the restaurant, which, these units are trying to pump the cold air back, but in through the kitchen doors, it pulls a whole hell of a lot of air up and through there, even with the back doors open. So a lot of the cool energy is getting sucked up in through the doors and out the vent here. It's a little bit, I don't know, it needs to all be balanced. But I've been trying to see what we could do with them. I always try to get it going the best we can without changing everything out and putting them out of business for a while doing it. So there's a lot of off-hours service time, and same with the theater here. And it gets pretty tough because most of the time I'm the only one that can really get out here without having, trying to get these guys to work on the super early morning or late evening. It's pretty dang tough. And getting anything done to where you can make some money. But anyhow, right now we're going to juice this one up again, and we've got to replace the condenser fan motor in this one here. We're up here doing quite a bit of work. It's just, it's just unbelievable. But anyhow, we're going to go down. We're going to go in the attic and show you some of the ductwork that needs to be replaced, and all the thermostats that control all this stuff to keep it within the staging, the proper staging of the equipment for the heating and air. That's one of the things. Of course, sometimes like in the morning, you got to go ahead and you got to run the heaters, and then during the shows when you get a lot of people in there. Then you got to run the air conditioners, so they swap between the two quite a bit. So they definitely get their usage. Anyhow, we're letting the ice melt in this unit, and we're going to start working on this one here, find out more what's going on with that one, and we're going to take some video up inside.